Yes.
Now, you have a chapter in your book entitled The Military Intelligence Complex, and you point out this very disturbing revolving door between the Pentagon and Google. And tell us about Regina Dugan, who went from being a director at the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, known better by its acronym DARPA, and where she left that to work for Google. And there's basically, she's indicative of this kind of breed of techno-utopians who are very excited about the things that technology enables us, with, it seems, little heed for the implications for people's rights.
Yeah, there's a great scene in the book that Sarah Bellotti, who worked with me on the book, and she captured just brilliantly, because she was talking about, I can't use the word because the FCC
Yes.
will ban it,
Please.
but she gave a very explicit defense of what she does, and she had been head of DARPA in the Defense Department, and yes, it's a it's the most perfect example of the revolving door. Google just went in and hired the whole DARPA crew, beginning with her, brought them over to Google to do their advanced research, and the intimacy between Google and DARPA, between Google and the Defense Department, was so tight. Sergey Brin and others were on high security clearance. Now the whole thing was we're preventing cyber theft, we're comparing cyber piracy and so forth, and that becomes the ruse for saying there's not going to be a paper-thin distance between the Defense Department and these private telecom groups, and it was quite ominous. Again, thanks be to Snowden, we know now that they can't, that it's out there. But the sad thing is, these people. She was in the particular scene you're describing a tattoo on your skin that is totally invasive of everything. She said that's already been cleared. There's a pill she talked about.
The tattoo was a microchip embedded under her skin.
But she actually talked about a pill you take in the morning or something, and this becomes a little computer operating in your body using the acids of your body to complete the circuit, and it tells anybody who's surveilling you, well, Google knows if you've taken your pill, but it also knows what your blood pressure, your heartbeat, everything.
And they're really excited about these sorts of technologies.
Yeah, because it allows them to more. Again, their whole thing, look, the bottom line here is, do we define freedom as the freedom to shop? Because if that's the main thing, and consumer sovereignty is what this whole experiment and freedom is all about, can I get a green one or a red one? Should I get the convertible or not? And this kind of marketing, if that's the exercise of freedom, well, then this helps quite a bit. It also can be quite manipulative, so watch out. Tastes are manufactured, and that's discussed in the book, and Facebook could even manufacture news and news flows and manipulate audiences, and that's, of course, what all our modern campaigns are. By the way, Barack Obama pioneered this, really. He was the most effective usage of this kind of data in becoming president, and they've been very slick about it. And I know I get messages very personal messages from Michelle Obama and Barack Obama all the time saying, oh, an hour ago I did this and this. Hi, Bob, how are you? This is Barack, and I'm here to tell you. Well, that's all this kind of targeted advertising, which this administration has been quite familiar with. But let me say the real danger here is that people have, and I see this with my students, if they're not from countries that have a more obvious totalitarian structure, they just have a benign view of government, but they've also forgotten the main obligation of citizenship in the model of governance that we have, which is an informed public that is capable of acting. What we have is a public that now embraces self-censorship, because if you know you're being monitored all the time, you then do the things that will not bother powerful people. You won't do anything troubling to the people who have power, and you'll just be concerned about your shopping decisions. And so that's the most subversive threat to democracy that we have in the modern world. And this is what Orwell, who you began this program talking about, was really warning about, as well as Huxley.